Okay, so I'm speaking with Judy Reese, the author of Clean Language and The Elephant Whisperer, and you're coming to the Brighton NLP group on Wednesday, the 10th of November. So, Judy, tell me a bit about what X-ray listening is.
Well, X-ray listening is a way of listening to the parts of people that don't usually get listened to very well. So, Elephant Whisperer comes from a metaphor from a book called The Happiness Hypothesis, where the guy's thinking about people as being like both an elephant and a rider. And the rider is the conscious part, the part that's doing the thinking, and the elephant is the unconscious part. And what you do with X-ray listening is you're able to hear and communicate with the elephant, the unconscious part. And so you find out all sorts of interesting things about people that they didn't know they knew, and you're able to discover things about them that will help you to persuade them to do things. It seems to me to be a very useful skill. And luckily it's one that's very easy to learn.
Sounds very useful. So, how does this skill fit in with NLP and Clean Language?
Well, it's closely associated with Clean Language, which was a system devised by David Grove, who unfortunately died a couple of years ago. But David Grove was very much a therapist, and Clean Language is really a process for therapy and coaching. What I've been doing is taking those same principles about being able to understand the subconscious mind and people's the thoughts that people don't know they know, and apply that in more sort of everyday contexts, like ordinary conversations, like ordinary stuff at work, like sales and marketing, those kind of contexts, and indeed influence itself. So the course I'm just about to launch is called Intelligent Influence. And David Grove, when he created Clean Language, would say that he was going out of his way not to influence people. But actually, the ideas that he came up with turn out to be really powerful ways to do that influencing. So a lot of people who are interested in Clean Language might say that what I'm doing is not really in keeping with what David believed, but it certainly does build on what he devised and what he came up with.
Okay, so what will people coming to the NLP group on Wednesday, the 10th of November, what will they get from this session?
Well, they'll get some interesting insights into their own subconscious minds and how they're doing their thinking, but mostly we'll be focusing our attention on how do they get more from their conversations with other people. One of the techniques I'll be explaining and we'll be playing with is called the two lazy Jedi questions. So two simple questions that you can apply in pretty much any conversation, and will help you get a whole new layer of information from anyone you're talking to. And at one level they seem incredibly simple, and once you hear them you think, well, how can those be revolutionary questions? And yet they are. Because people don't seem to spend much energy on listening, on paying attention to what people are actually saying, perhaps people are too keen to speak. When you put your attention on listening and on ways of making yourself listen, people get some very dramatic breakthroughs. For example, this morning I was talking to a GP that's learning these techniques from me. He was saying how much difference they'd made to his consultations with his patients. Those kind of pretty much any kind of context where you're interacting with a person rather than with a machine, these things will be applicable.
Great, so these are great skills if you're a therapist or a coach, great if you're in business, in sales in particular, and just great for everyday conversations.
Yeah, they even work with teenage children, apparently.
Wow, well that must be some powerful stuff. Okay, Judy, well thank you very much. We're really looking forward to having you at the group on Wednesday the 10th of November. If you want to find out more details when you're watching this video, just have a look at the link below. Thank you, Judy.
Look forward to seeing you then. Thanks a lot.